Welcome to today's deep dive into a fascinating and often overlooked piece of British currency history, the 1971 Elizabeth II halfpenny coin. While it may be small in size, the story behind this little copper coin is big, full of historical change, royal symbolism, and collector intrigue. Whether you're a numismatist or just curious about the evolution of money, you're in the right place. Let's begin with a bit of background. In the years leading up to 1971, the United Kingdom used a currency system that dated back centuries: pounds, shillings, and pence. It was complex, to say the least. 1 pound was made up of 20 shillings, and each shilling was worth 12 pence. That means there were 240 pence in 1 pound. This system worked for a long time, but by the mid-20th century, it was becoming increasingly outdated and difficult for both businesses and individuals to manage, especially as the world was modernizing. So, in 1966, the British government decided that the country would switch to a decimalized currency system. This change took 5 years to implement, culminating in what's known as Decimal Day, February 15, 1971. On that day, the United Kingdom officially adopted a system where the pound would be divided into 100 new pence, or new p, as it was often called. To support this new system, several new coins were introduced, and among them was the halfpenny, often written as 1/2 p. Its purpose was simple but important. Since many goods at the time were priced in such a way that rounding up or down could significantly affect cost, especially for low-income families, the halfpenny helped smooth the transition. It allowed prices to remain more accurate during the changeover period and ensured the public wasn't unfairly overcharged. Now let's talk about the coin itself. The 1971 halfpenny was made of bronze, which gives it a warm, reddish-brown appearance when freshly minted. It had a mass of 1.78 grams and a diameter of 17.14 millimeters. Tiny, even compared to other coins of the time. In fact, it was the smallest coin in circulation in terms of both size and value. On the obverse, or head side, you'll find the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. The portrait used for the 1971 halfpenny was created by Arnold Machin. It's the same iconic image that appeared on British stamps for decades, the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Around her portrait is the inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 1971. That stands for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The reverse side of the coin is quite striking. It features a depiction of a crowned portcullis with chains, a design long associated with the Palace of Westminster and a historic symbol of the British Parliament. It was chosen for its symbolic value and its clean, simple appearance. Below the portcullis is the denomination, 1/2 new penny. Why a new penny, you might ask? Well, during the initial years following decimalization, the term new was used to distinguish the decimal coins from the old pre-decimal ones. Over time, the word new was dropped, but in 1971, it was still part of the official inscription. The 1971 halfpenny was minted in large numbers to ensure availability across the UK. Over 1.4 billion of these coins were produced, making it one of the most common coins in circulation at the time. Given the sheer quantity minted, the coin was never considered rare, at least not then. But as time went on, the halfpenny's usefulness began to decline. Inflation slowly eroded its purchasing power, and by the early 1980s, it was increasingly seen as a nuisance. People didn't like carrying such a small denomination in their pockets, and businesses began rounding prices to the nearest full penny. The government eventually acknowledged this, and in 1984, the halfpenny was officially withdrawn from circulation. So, what does this mean for collectors today? Well, while the 1971 halfpenny is not rare in the traditional sense, its value lies in its historical significance. It's a symbol of one of the most important economic transitions in modern British history. And because so many were minted and circulated, they're relatively easy to find in good condition, which makes them a great starting point for new collectors. In terms of market value, a circulated 1971 halfpenny usually sells for around a few pence, not much more than face value. However, uncirculated examples, or coins in near-perfect condition, especially those taken directly from mint sets, can fetch slightly higher prices, typically in the range of £1 to £3 depending on condition and demand. Proof versions or coins in sealed sets might be a bit more valuable still. Now, if you happen to come across a 1971 halfpenny with an unusual strike, doubling, or any minting error, that's where things get interesting. Error coins can command much higher prices, depending on rarity and how dramatic the flaw is. These are harder to come by, but can be the crown jewels in a collection of decimal coinage. Collectors also often look at the coin's role within a full decimal collection. Many aim to collect all the decimal coins released in 1971, from the halfpenny up to the 50p coin, to tell the full story of Decimal Day. Some also seek coins from mint sets, which are often in better condition than circulated examples. Though it's no longer in circulation, the 1971 halfpenny remains an important artifact. It represents a unique moment in time, a moment when Britain took a major leap toward modernization. It's a coin that connects economics, politics, and everyday life in a way that few others do. That's why, even today, collectors and historians continue to value it, not just for what it's worth in pounds and pence, but for what it represents. So the next time you come across one of these tiny bronze coins, take a moment to appreciate its place in history. It may no longer buy anything at the shops, but its value as a piece of Britain's monetary legacy is still very much alive. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the story of the 1971 Elizabeth II halfpenny. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more coin history content, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. And as always, keep collecting and keep discovering.